Alright guys, welcome to this episode on understanding are the buyers or the sellers in control. I removed all indicators, so all we're going to be working on is with just candles. And because indicators can be manipulated and they can fail you at times, but the candle and the patterns of the candles can give you a lot of information on who is in control, the buyers or the sellers. What I like to do is go something even a little farther and actually remove the colors of the candles. So that way you only focus on just the patterns. That's it. So you don't know if it's buyers or sellers. It's just, that's it. That's all you see. So we really have to focus on what are the candles trying to tell you. So we're starting right here. We see that it came up and it hit resistance. Came back down and retested it. But it went up and then it failed. Came back down again to do another third test here. Right? You got 1, 2, testing it again, and it got above it again. So technically you're saying, okay, well, is this considered the buyers in control or the sellers? Well, we don't know yet. Because if you think about it, you have to kind of mark this area until it gets above this area right here. We don't know yet. Okay. Also, a good rule of thumb to kind of remember to help you out. Let's see, have you these 3 wicks sticking out over here. People will be asking like, well, where will you mark these? Would it be on the top one? Would it be the middle one? Or the bottom one? With me, the way I like to do it is always get all 3 of them. Get all 3 of them marked in there. That way it locks it all in. That's how I do it. Okay, so the market is sitting here in a range and then it breaks above. That is when the buyers came in. And here we go. It looks like the buyers are doing their job. Did a little retracement. Buyers are going back in again. See, once it broke this area, the buyers are coming in. And they got a little pullback. Alright, so now the question is, are we still in a strong trend or is this going to reversing on us? Well, for me, I mark it right over here because this is the area that would have to break for me to get out of the trade. Okay, would it be all the way down here? No, because this is actually just testing the market down there, testing or kicking people's short stops. This is where it would be the area that I would be paying attention to. As long as it stays above that, I'll stay in the stock. Alright, so let's see what happens. Yep, there it is. Testing it right there. Wants to see. Oh, and there it takes off again. Alright. Keeps moving. A little retracement. So now since it's up here, this area I wouldn't really care much about. I want to make sure it doesn't break this area. So that right now the buyers will still be in control. But as soon as it breaks this lower area, that's when I know the market is turning around. No, I'm still doing its thing. Buyers are still in charge. So now this becomes my new area of watching. So you got to give the market. You just got to give them room to run. If you make it too tight of a stop, you can get out. But at the same time, if you make it too loose, you lose a lot of money. So you always bring your stop losses up, so that way you don't lose that much. Now, technically, the guy that started everything is down here. This is where the market started running. So anything above this, it's all considered bullish. You can even let this thing come all the way down to here. As long as it doesn't break this line, it's still in the buyer's territory. But if you want to give up all that profit, that's up to you. I'd rather just keep it a little tighter. So let's see, we're still in here. Now it looks like it's sitting in a range now. Okay. So this is our little range area. Actually, I'm going to mark ranges a little bit different. Ranges, we're going to mark it with a box. So right now, the market is not telling me what it wants to do. It's just sitting there. And this is where a lot of people make mistakes. They'll sit there and they'll be like, well, do you think this is a good time to get in because will it keep running up? I don't know. Nobody really knows. All you can do is wait. If it breaks above the box, then it is a bull. If it breaks below that box, then it's a bear. So we have to kind of wait it out and see what it does. So it keeps running. It broke above it. Now, breaking above it, that's it. It doesn't count. You have to make sure that it actually stays above it because it can come right back in. Let's make this a little longer here. So this doesn't, it closed above it, but until this one give you the indication that's going to stay there, that's when it's considered that the buyers are back in. So you get back in on that run and see where it goes. Still doing that line right here, still testing that line where it came out of. Oops. Let me try that again with the other one. See, the market always retests the same areas that it came out of because it wants to know if it can break through it. So for me, if I got into this trade, if it turned around and goes below it or back in here again, you kind of have to give yourself enough room to say, okay, well, is this going to turn right back around, or as soon as it breaks back in there, you're done? Because sometimes you have to break even not to lose your money. So in this particular case, you just not really sure what it's going to do, but it definitely is breaking, and you have to be already keep an eye on. You might have to get out of this trade. Let's see what happens. Yep, definitely time to get out, because this particular case it didn't work out. Down here it worked out great, but up here it didn't. And when the trade turns against you, then it's time to get out. So now we're going to see how far down it goes. Will it violate this area? Came right back to testing it. See, the market always comes back to the same support and resistance areas. It went from support to becoming resistance, broke right through it. So in other words, it's not really respecting it in a sense of it's not a strong resistance. It's more a stronger support because it's using it more to stand on. But when it came from underneath, the next candle broke right through it. So there's not a lot of resistance. The buyers are still in charge here. All right, it's doing its thing. Right through there again. So they didn't even respect this line either. Went right back on top there. But it's definitely testing this area right here to see if it can break through it. Now, which one do we mark? The top one? Or do we get all of them? Always get all of them. That way it makes it easier. See, it even tested it right there. It's fighting that area. So technically this became now the new range that it's in. It's going to try to break through there. Yeah, blow right through there again. Back to testing that line again. It's testing it. Whenever you get these really long wicks, you got to be careful because what the market is doing, it's trying to find out what kind of resistance is up there. Okay, so it's kind of giving you a heads up that it might want to go up there, or this is it from here, and it's just going to start falling. So it's just kind of have to keep an eye on it to see. A lot of times I just see when it does these long wicks that the market's going to start falling, but nothing is guaranteed. But it is definitely testing. A lot of times people want to short the market. It is kicking them out just to, their stop losses before it runs the other direction. All right, it's playing in this area. It's definitely fighting on this. This is the support that I found right here at 750. And down it goes. It broke right through that one. And right down. So, yep, this is definitely a short stock right now. So the sellers are in charge. So now it's testing. It's about to test this next one down here. So this is how you read before you jump into something. Like right now it's sitting in a range. So we don't know what the market wants to do. So you mark it. Okay. You can even go up here if you want to, but I would just go right there because this is where all the candles are sitting in. Getting all those candles. So it's testing up here again. Let's make this a little bit longer. And now it's telling you that it wants to go down. So it's bearish. The sellers are in charge of this one. Came back to test that site again after it broke out. Oops. As soon as it broke out, it tested it and down it went. and then now it's going right back in again. So the candles is telling you where it wants to go, and notice how it always goes back to the before where it had resistance and support. It always seems to get caught up in that area. These are the areas that you pay attention to because it will help you make decisions, before you jump in. It had trouble before, had trouble before, had trouble before. Well, most likely it's going to have trouble again. That's the way you read it. Not that it just happened here, but it's like you just have to figure out if it had trouble in the past, most likely it will have trouble in the future. So you just kind of have to figure out if it's worth getting into it or wait until it breaks out. Now, in this particular case, it got there, but it's nothing really telling me where it wants to go yet. So I would just sit back and you watch, because it's not really telling you. This right now can go up or it can go down. So let's see. Yep, still playing up and down. Not exactly the safest stock to be in right now. Kind of have to wait it out. So here is what you're waiting for. If it breaks above this area. But you look behind you and you say, well, is there anything in that area that actually had trouble in the past? Not really. So this is just nothing there. Okay, so you just wait it out. Oops, let me get this out of here and see what it does. Alright, still sitting. Now sitting in another range. And now you box it in and wait to see what it wants to do. Once the market tells you where it wants to go, then you can decide to get in. If it breaks above that, you can get in going long. If it breaks below that, then you know it's not worth getting in, or you can short it. Let's see what happens next. Oh, it definitely took off. It's way above that. Now, this is the other mistake most people like to make. They see this run, and they go ahead and they buy right over here. They say, yep, I'm going to buy right now because I saw this little run. Well, this will be the worst time to buy anything because the move was from down here. This is where it started. To jump in now, the odds of this running higher are very slim since you missed all of this. So now you have to wait to see if it consolidates again before you jump in, or wait for it to come back down and wait for it. So in this particular case, see, and this is where people get in and they say, I always feel when I get in, the market turns against me. This is why. Don't ever get in up here. You already missed the move. Just wait and see if you can catch the next move, the next wave. All right, guys. So hopefully this will help you guys out in understanding on what area you in, are the buyers or the sellers are in control. And I'll see you guys on the trading floor.